What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing?
Hey, everyone, what's up? Woo!
Anthony, I am super
I'm in my
excited tonight
chair.
to have our guest on here. How have you been, man? What's going on? What's new in the world?
Hey, excited, man. This is we have a lot of great guests on, and I've had the privilege of meeting our dear friend here, within the last, I would say, half a year. And we've chatted like 3 times already today. Very, very exciting. Cannot wait to share and introduce her properly. So it's gonna be a great show.
Yeah. I'm super excited about tonight. Now, the person that we're about to pull out is an absolute superhero. Guys, there's people that pretend to be superheroes all the time. They get dressed up, they go out there, they do things, and then when the door shuts or the lights go out, they kind of take off the mask and then they go do other things. The person that we're about to pull on stage here is a phenomenal human being. She's personally impacted my life tremendously. I have a picture on the wall that says, "Persistence, don't give up, keep on going." And she sent me that after we've had some very deep conversations that have really impacted my life. So I'm super excited to welcome Kedma out here. I mean, Anthony, I don't know that there's anything that we could possibly say to convey the impact that Kedma's had on people's lives. I mean, she helps people get funding for their business. She's in it. She's got an incredible story. I mean, how do we even give someone this amazing justice as we pull her out here?
Well, it's cool. We talk and we refer to her as a small business superhero, and she is just that, right? She's got the Wonder Woman thing going on, and truth be told, she's one of the best female entrepreneurs that I've probably ever met. I've had the privilege of meeting a lot and working with a lot. She's amazing. We met her through our dear friend Gary Krebs, who's co-hosting the event with Rick Fishman with us coming up here shortly.
Amazing.
And Kedma, literally, I mean, it was a few months ago. It was like, I think it was like 17 million plus or 37 million, some astronomical amount. Tens of millions of people she went live to, in the Verizon network, right? She literally is an international speaker. She has the book Target Funding that is literally what the name suggests, right? She helps people to fund their businesses and help their dreams come true. I know I have that nickname, that moniker Dreammaker, but she does that when it comes to like numbers, literally on a daily basis. And she has some incredible case studies and stories to share. And she just literally the other day, she just broke a Guinness Book of World Record that she was part of. And I'll let her share that a little bit more, but I'm excited for Kedma.
Yeah, and so am I. And like I said, there's people there's people that fake it. This Kedma is a thorough superhero through and through. So you guys are going to want to hang on every word that she says. She's going to be sharing some absolutely amazing secrets. And I guess without further ado, we got to welcome her out here. Put your hands together for Kedma. Oh, Kedma, what's up, girl?
Hey, girl. What's up?
Gosh, thank you. I feel so honored and humbled, and I really appreciate the light. And I tell people when offered a compliment, always accept a compliment. So many people ignore it, deny it, throw it back at people, and that's like throwing a gift back in someone's face. So I will accept it. Thank you for the generosity of your compliments, and I give it back as well. So thank you.
Well, Kedma, what have you been getting yourself into lately? What's new? What's going on in your world?
Oh my goodness. Well, my world is every day is about serving, right? Every day is about funding. So I'm in the practical end. I'd like to say, if you need mindset shift, if you need changes on how you think, don't come to me. If you want
to me.
Go to Michael.
Go to Mike.
If you want to know where the heck the money is and, really navigate that and think from a strategy perspective, then come to me. So I love to do the practicality. And my latest thing is just purchased our own company. So not only are we doing grants, but we're doing everything from SBA loans to accounts receivable, factoring to debt restructuring, and all for the one purpose, which is giving people access to capital so they can pay taxes so that this business and economy can thrive, right? So I like to say, if you're not paying taxes, you're not making enough, right? So this is really the opportunity to say, wherever you are in the business world, there's always a way through funding. So that's what I've been doing.
I love it. I love it. And what got you into that? I mean, that's one of my favorite stories that you share is like that
Yeah.
is like that as an epiphany. Can you please share that with the listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I love to tell people that whatever craft you have, whatever area of expertise, the best way to become an expert is to be a product of what you share. And that's what happened to me. About 20 years ago, I was in a predicament. I had to file bankruptcy, but I had to file bankruptcy because of a crisis, not because I was not financially savvy. I have a master's in business, but I had a crisis that forced me to do that. I had to leave a difficult relationship, and that's the price I paid. In fact, statistically, women usually have to file bankruptcy because they have to leave a relationship, not because they're not financially savvy. So here I was in Arizona, just filed, sobbing my eyes out. I'll never forget that moment, Michael. I'm sitting underneath this light in the evening, and I'm just sobbing. And I remember picking up my ego and going back to my apartment. And 2 weeks later, I got a credit card from Capital One for $200. And it was that moment I thought, why is someone giving me a credit card? I just filed bankruptcy. It doesn't make sense. However, I remembered as a young kid, I would play Monopoly. So you guys have played Monopoly before, right?
My
So
favorite
you
games
know,
ever.
what? Have you, Tony?
That's one of my favorite games ever. I would dominate Monopoly.
You would dominate, right?
That's when my D comes out. Yep.
There's my D, right? So I would play Monopoly for weeks on end as a young girl over the summer. And what I knew was this: you could be on the board. It could be totally set up with hotels. You could have no money. But if you could pass go, you're going to collect $2. And at that moment, I said, the universe has just played me back into this game, and I'm going to go on a journey to uncover every funding resource for people like me that want the American dream. And that's what happened. It took me 15 years. I became totally obsessed to uncover every funding. In fact, when I taught at the university, I taught at University of Arizona, and I taught in Portland State. I would tell my students, if you find me a funding program I don't know about, I will take you out to dinner. Do you know how many times I had lonely dinners? Nobody could find me something I didn't know about, because that's how obsessed I became. And then in 2019, McGraw-Hill picked me up for my book, and we helped thousands, over 10,000 entrepreneurs. Just in the book alone, we have 300 resources, and I've been on the journey ever since. I'm so committed, because I went from a credit score of 450 to a credit score of 820. So if I do that where I was at, I could help anybody where they're at.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So while we're on this, I know that you guys are listening. All right. I've got to ask the question. You guys can type. We can read it. What Monopoly piece do you pick when you play? Kedma and I have been talking about this. We've been talking about this, right? And actually, I got to share this, right? Look at this. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, can you see that? Persistence. And that shows up, right? When you lose your money, when you're doing all right, just keep going. Don't give up. What a beautiful gift. Seriously, Kedma, you blessed my life. So I want to know what piece do you guys pick when you are playing the game of Monopoly? Put it in the chat, and we're gonna check that out. That's our little game.
Should I put mine in the chat as well?
Yeah. What's yours? What's yours?
Well, I'll let people put in the chat. I choose the shoe. I don't even the shoe exists anymore, but I like the shoe because it represents willing to walk in your shoes, willing to take the hard work. I don't need to jump on a bus or a car or a plane. I don't know. So for me, it's like just in the hustle, like, okay, especially because sometimes we go into a strategy with Monopoly and people underestimate how I play the game. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to play the shoe. You want to take the car? Take the car, babe. I'm going to take the shoe and see how we play this game. So it kind of gives me the underdog attitude,
Anthony, what piece do you pick?
Well, I was a little boy playing that when my father came into my life, right? And we would play that game all the time, probably 11 years old up till probably 20s. And I love that game, right? Mm. So my secondary would be the boot, would be the shoe. And I would say it's to kick everyone's butt. That's what I used to say. but my primary was in fact the car, because to me, I had certain cars I wanted to own, coming up, and I did, thankfully, and just to kind of run everybody over, so to speak. It's very funny. As kind as I am and loving and am in like sharing and helping and business and all that, when I play sports, and again, I'm doing the healing process now, but like I become like this person. It's like I got this Michael Jordan mentality, which is like dominate the other person like so bad. It's so funny. That's when it comes out. That's when the D comes out in disc,
That's funny. I am always the battleship. I don't know what it is.
That was my third. That was my third.
Yes.
That was my
I
third.
love that little thing. Yeah. It's just got the points, and it's got. I think you know what attracted me to the battleship is that it was. I felt like it was the widest one. Like it wasn't going to fall over. Yeah. No. All right. So what's this? Everyone's out there like what? So now they're like, man, what do I pick? Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
I have to tell you guys something funny. My kids now play Monopoly, but they play the cheaters edition, and I refuse to cheat. I refuse to cheat. So we play this game, Anthony, and they're cheating, and they're like, it's legal to cheat. I said, I will win this game, and I will not cheat. So we get into these arguments, but yeah, so this is interesting how they're playing now the cheaters edition and think, yeah, it's fine to cheat. But yeah.
Wow. Well, and they have so many now. My baby sister coming up on my mom's side, she would have Horseopoly, and it was like different horses you can be, right? And I had, Spider-Man-opoly. So I love Spider-Man. He's my guy. I know you're Wonder Woman. I'm a Spider-Man guy, right? And like, I'd be like there's like 4 pieces that are Spider-Man. There's so many cool different editions now. There's Disney-opoly and all that too. So yeah, you have fun, but you win. You're allowed to dominate in a game.
Absolutely. So that was my story, and I'm happy to answer any other questions related to it. But really, I am so blessed to have filed bankruptcy, because I could not have given myself a better gift than to have gone through the entire experience and come up on the other side. And that's why I can work with people at any level, whether they have no credit, whether they have low credit, whether they've been bankrupt, whether they have no collateral. Because if I can serve those people at the highest level, I can serve people walking in every day that say my credit score is 700. So.
One of the things I want to bring up here is this notion of target funding, because I think there's a lot of business owners that are out there that are like, well, what does that really mean? And to me, Kedma, it's so much of it is about positioning your mission, your vision in a way that is advantageous to people that are looking to get funds. And I know that you're a master at that. And there's metrics that you look at. Can you share a little bit about what that means, what that might look like for somebody that's thinking about getting funded?
Yeah. So here's what I tell people. I deal with a lot with business, because certainly you can talk about funding, and you could say funding for personal, right? If you think about platforms like GoFundMe, a lot of times those platforms are very specific for personal things. Hey, I have my family member is sick, or my son's trying to get into a school. But my focus is grants, business grants, a subset of that for businesses. So when we think about target funding, it's very similar to target marketing. So I'm going to put Anthony on the spot. If I said to you, target marketing, what would your response be? What does target marketing mean to you?
Target marketing is exactly hitting your super niche market, niching it down to the person. They have it to the point now where you can target moms that like Pocahontas that live in Des Moines, Iowa, and watch TV from 5 to 7 p.m., right?
Boom. Okay. So now we take that same concept and we target funds, because most people don't do that. Before they learn about target funding, Michael, you know what they do? They come to me and they say, I want $100,000 from my lender. That's like me calling my broker and saying, hey, can you put $100,000 on one stock? My broker would say, have you gone mad? Don't you know anything about diversification funds? Why would we possibly want to do that? Because anybody who's in the funding world knows that the key to risk mitigation, right? The key to reducing our risk is to diversify the funds. I do that same thing with target funding, except we use what we call variables. So I'm going to take Anthony's example. Let's suppose I'm working with a woman-owned business in Los Angeles who happens to be interested in exploring her fashion. She has different fashion items and she wants to build around fashion, and she's looking for $50,000 and she's a startup company. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I would look at variables. What are the variables? The variables are the unique differentiations for that particular business, not for Anthony's business, not for Michael, for that business. So the variable would be, she's a woman. We could find funding for women. She's in the fashion industry. We can look at funding specifically for fashion. In fact, there are fashion accelerator programs where investors are tied in to the program. We can actually look at startup money, right? So there are programs like IDA that are set aside for people who are starting their money. Sure. So these are just small little ways for us to tap in. So I would look at multitude variables. We have about 20 different variables that we would hone in on, and then we would customize a plan, or the client can do it on their own, to get them the actual target. And the reason why it matters is because there is no point at all to just close your eyes, throw out this possibility with 50 different lenders and get zero. Mm-hmm. I would rather you focus on 5 options and nail 3 of them. Mm-hmm. So it is extremely strategic.
I love it. I love it. It's that, you know, in marketing, they say the riches are in the niches, and that's the truth for target funding, you know, making sure that you are laser focused with your identity, your business identity. Mm-hmm. Wow. So how long does that process take, Kedma, from start to finish? I mean, I would imagine that it depends. Now, are you working one-on-one with people? I know that you have an amazing book that people can start going through that process. Mm-hmm. How can people kind of, what does that journey look like for somebody?
I always tell people to start with the book, because I'm perfectly fine if they take my 18 years of experience and knowledge and run with it. Like, they're getting 18 years of value, go ahead. If they work with me, I'm also very specific. A lot of times I just spend an hour with them. That's all I need. I need 1 hour, and I can put an action plan together. So, literally in the culmination of that, let's say a total of 3 hours, they can have enough to run with.
And you know what I'm going to do, Kevin? I'm going to drop the link to the Amazon link for your book right here in the chat, so that people can find it. It's a great read.
The other way we do it is we can, and I'm actually going to put something on here too, because one of the things we do for anyone who's interested is they can fill out a form, and we can set up time for us to have a chat. So it's absolutely, it's a form that allows me to quickly see what they're looking for. So it's bit.ly/target funds. So I'll give you an example. I'm working right now with a company who is looking at, I think I shared it with Anthony online, looking at a new concept in the music entertainment industry. It's a technology-based business, and they're looking for about $100K. And they had no idea where to go. So we went ahead and we identified roughly 25 accelerators that actually met that criteria. They were in the music or entertainment industry. They were tech focused. It was startup, and they were looking at investment. We actually built in what the criteria was. From there, we're narrowing it down, and we're pulling all the submission criteria. And then from there, I'm going to recommend the top 3. Once they have that, Anthony, once they have that, Michael, they're good to go. I've built the plan for them. All they have to do is execute. So it's that simple. Most of the time where people struggle is they don't know where the money is. Mm-hmm. So when you ask me how quickly it goes, how quickly it takes, it all depends.
How fast, yeah.
Yeah, with business grants, you're going to be shocked. With business grants, normally the grant will open up and close within 72 hours. Listen to me, 72 hours. Now, let me tell you why this is so important. During the pandemic, when the government was promoting the EIDL program and the PPP, everybody was running to the EIDL. Everybody was running to PPP, except my clients. Because I told them, do not go there right now. because that money will be available. You need to go to the city money first. You need to go to the state money first, because that money is going to open and close so quickly that if you don't apply, you're going to be out of that. And exactly what I said happened. We would have programs like Prosper Portland opened up and said, we're giving away $10,000 per business. You got 72 hours to apply.
I love it.
If they close their eyes like that, they could cry like a baby. They're not going to get the money.
Money gone.
Well, you know what? I want to bring things, one of the things we're talking, Kedma, as long as I've known you, it's been about execution, because we know it isn't going to happen unless you take action. And some of you guys are sitting here right now thinking to yourself, like, I'd like to have funding, but maybe, but it seems as if there's this big mountain of things that you're going to need to do and blah, 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 blah. So for those of you guys that are the naysayers, or the people that feel like it may not happen for you, or maybe that's for somebody else's business, or who am I to get funding, or whatever. What I want you to do is I just want you to focus on that for a moment. And just consider that that's a constant thing. That those are what we would consider limiting beliefs. Kedma's got a proven system here. She's helped hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people at this point. Thousands of people. So I want you to just consider that those are your reasons. Those reasons are preventing your success. You can get funding. You should get the book, and you should begin to take action, because we know that this is a proven system. People want to be able to give away the money. They want to be able to fund you, and it's just a matter of you taking the actions to position yourself in a what I would even say in a way in which people can see what you're doing and can fund you.
You nailed it. Now, here's where the challenge is, and this is to your point, Michael, where that people have to go back. When you come to me for funding, you better know what you're asking for. Don't be coming to me and saying, oh, I'm not sure about my business. I'm not sure what my passion is. I'm not sure what I'm going to send you right back to Michael.
Yeah, right. Then you come back and talk to me, and we'll get Krista clear on that, and then we'll go over to Kedma.
Yeah.
Mindset first, money second. Mindset first, money second.
Anthony, you're absolutely right, because if you come to me, I'm going to say, what do you need it for? When do you need it? Why do you need it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I look at the difference between what you wish for and what you need. Now, here's the simplest way for me to prove whether you need it or not. This is my favorite thing to do, because you know what I often get? I get people who give me their Christmas, Hanukkah wish list. All right? This is everything I need, Kedma. Right? I'm like, listen, we're not here in Santa Claus land, right? We need to get to need. Okay? So here's how we determine need. If I look at your list and I take that need away, and you can't function your business that way, it's a need.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we play the game, right? So if you say, man, I need all this stuff, and I go, oh, well, wait a minute, if I take this away, will you still be able to operate? Can you still hustle? Can you still make money? And if the answer is yes, then it goes down the list. The only other time it goes up the list is if the request is going to make you a minimum of 5 times ROI of what you're asking for.
Well, Kedma, that's gold. And I want to stop here, because if we skip over this, I mean, that what you just shared is gold. So from a funding standpoint, there's 2 things. There's the ROI, and then there's the need, right? The ROI, the expectation is in 5x ROI.
Absolutely.
And the need is defined by, if we take it away, you can't function.
Correct. Right. So if I take away your website, we can't function. You need a website. If I take away your computer system, we can't function. If I take away your CRM, you're going to be paralyzed. All of those are needs.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are needs.
Wow. What is the most common need outside of funding that you see business owners come to you with?
Well, outside of, it's kind of, the reason they're coming to me usually is they need a need for marketing, right? Digital marketing, or they need a need for working capital, but that's a tricky one. If they come to me and say, listen, I need an extra $100,000 for working capital, and I say, why? Well, because the business needs to expand. And then I go and look at their books. So yes, I do look at your books, and I notice that you have 80,000 sitting in accounts receivable because you haven't had the guts to call in your business and tell people to pay you. I'm going to say you don't need the money.
Yeah.
We need to step up how you collect on the money that is out there, because you're letting people use your money, right? Now, unless it's unless it's the industry itself dictates that maybe they're paying 90 to 120 days. So usually it's for marketing. Usually it's for expansion of employees. However, for these days, it's actually for real estate. People are buying and investing in commercial because SBA is at its lowest ever for commercial real estate. And people are actually buying out other companies. This is the time. If you want to get into business acquisition, this is the time to do it. As long as you're within the same industry, we're seeing a lot of business acquisition because companies are not doing well. And the companies who have survived are buying out those companies and expanding their marketing footprint.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's funny. So I'm thinking here, we talk a lot about the whole Simon Sinek book, right? It starts with why. You hear me say it all the time. I believe it starts with what. It's fueled by your why. It happens with how, but typically to get the how, you need the who. You're a perfect example of that, because there's so many people that are just trying to figure out the how, and they meet you, they hear from you, and they hear what your gift is, right? The unique gift that you bring to the table, better than like in the top 1% of 1% in this space, and you allow that how to happen. So you're like a perfect epitome to what we always talk about, right, Mike? We talk about this all the time.
Well, I think Kedma actually invented the space. Target funding wasn't really a thing until Kedma came along, and it was a fuzzy idea without a direction.
Correct.
And Kedma really, put a target to funding. You know what I mean? So that's a pretty cool.
And that's exactly what McGraw-Hill told me when I asked them, why would you choose a first-time author? Which I have to give credit to Gary. And also I had a editor who really helped. But I said, why would you give it to a first-time author? And that's exactly what they said. You actually created a new space that didn't exist.
Wow.
And you proved it because you actually were a product of it. And yes, to your point, there were fragmented pieces that certainly people were doing, but there wasn't one collective space that people could really talk to and say, here are the variables. We can look at geographic, we can look at demographic, we can look at industry, we can look at size, and we could actually come up with a formula that allows anybody to actually win the game. And that's the game. We want to win it's a game, guys. Funding is a game, and everybody can win. Now, whether or not you feel you can win, that's a mindset issue. That goes back to Michael.
Yes. And to that point, guys, I think that what happens is we, because mindset is a very real thing, right? People just get in our way. We don't take actions, and there's action. The lack of actions, it's an opportunity. You miss it, and the people that are succeeding are taking rapid actions, massive actions. Kedma, you can hear. She just takes massive action, right? So one of the things that I think shows up is like, for me, I think when it comes to taking massive action, and like you just said, Anthony, what massive action do you need to take? Now you want to get funding, right? So we know the what, and the why there is really rooted there. So is it your children? Is it the impact that your business has? Like I think that if you just are really present right now to why you should get funding, what that growth looks like, and you should, and if you can get there and start salivating over the people's lives that it'll impact, the improved quality of your life, the stress, how it'll reduce your stress, then I think the action just kind of follows suit.
Michael, one really, really important thing I want to highlight, and this is for anyone listening right now. Information is not created equal. Remember this. Information not created equal. Wherever you're getting your information, you have every right to challenge it, every right to vet it out, because there are people who are not in, who are in the space, but they are BS as far as I'm concerned. They're talking the talk, but they're not actually living it. But if people want to challenge me, I talk about it all the time. I own a beautiful office space that I purchased in 2008 for 6% down. It's valued at close to 900,000 right now. My interest has been fixed now since 2008 at 0.04%. There is not a lender in the entire United States that will give you a loan for 0.04% fixed. Okay?
That's what they give us at the bank. That's what the bank gives us.
You can't steal money that cheap.
So so when I'm passionate about
Not
this,
even inflation. Wow.
yeah, when I'm passionate about this, it's because it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top. Okay, I'm great. I'm on top. Okay, great. I get excited when other people can come up there and say, Kedma, I got the money. Kedma, I was able to change the generation of my family. Kedma, I was able to use my money and buy the house of my dreams. That's what gets me excited. So just remember that. Not information not created equal. Because you know what I think most people are doing these days? I hate to tell you this. They're collecting gurus. So this is what I tell my clients. Stop collecting gurus. Choose your gurus. Follow them. Stop collecting gurus. Because that's taking you off your mission. Right? They're like, oh, I need to get another book. Oh, I need to do another podcast. No, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't. You need to execute.
Yes.
You need to execute.
It ain't gonna happen unless you take action, Kedma. It ain't gonna happen unless you take action.
Right.
About to give Mike a heart attack coming. You got to calm down. Look at him. Poor guy.
You got to understand.
Mike's going to come in and resuscitate him.
Hold on. I got to jump in here. So much of what we do is clearing over the limiting beliefs over the fact that you still need to take the same action. Look, it's the same. It's the path. You can't, it's like.
Exactly. And the reason I bring this up, guys, is because there is a majority of people who would rather listen to the next person, the next one, more information. And guess what they're doing? They're stalling. And you know what? What people don't understand is time is working against you. Every single one of us is one day closer to death. So every day you choose not to go forward, you're actually losing. You're not winning.
Yes.
So by not taking action, you've made a decision.
Right.
Made a decision.
Right. Yeah.
I
for many years, and a lot of people know I'm in the healing process and everything now. I am so, as much as we talk about this guy, as much as of an I as I am and love people, like my drive comes from like that secondary D. I'm so like go get it done. And I have like zero patience when you start something and you don't finish, because it's okay if you start something, all right, even if it takes a bit, right? Because you'll never get that time back if you start it and don't finish it. But if you start it and you do finish it, well, then it was worth the entire while, right? It was worth it. It was that story along the way. But it like drives me insane. It always has. Like I see it with so many people. They get in their own way so many times. And that's where, Mike, where you come in and you identify scotomas, remove them and everything. And, Twee's phenomenal at that as well, too. But the bottom line is I couldn't agree more. At the end of the day, where the rubber meets the road is massive action. Of course, it's strategy. Like, you can't run east, like Tony Robbins says, looking for a sunset, right? Right. You got, there's a strategy behind it, but it's accompanied by, knowing what you want, knowing why you're doing it, finding the how, and finding like that who's that's going to get you to the how. At the end of the day, you don't win a World Series by having the best pitcher. You win a World Series by having a great pitcher and catcher and shortstop and first baseman in the respective roles, and a team that's going to do what you suck at, right, and help you to get to where you need to be. You know, and so all the time.
Now, I know, in preparation for the event, I would love to throw out resources as a teaser, as an opportunity for people to start looking at things, to think out of the box, if you guys are open to it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Resources are much appreciated, Kedma.
Hey, let me think.
You mean things we can take action on? Things we can take action on? All right.
Yes. All right. I'm going to talk about 2 different programs and 2 different kinds of businesses. So, and I am going to give you lots of resources in our upcoming event. So don't feel like, oh my God, this is it. This is just a teaser. Let's just think it's a healthy appetizer. How's that? Okay. So just give you a healthy appetizer. And from there, you can see the possibilities. Okay. Here's your first healthy appetizer. there is a program. So here's your homework assignment. I'm not going to do all the work for you. You're going to go onto Google and you're going to pull up account called individual development account. This is actually in my book, individual development account. I actually put it into the chat, and I'm going to tell you what it is. This is going to blow your mind. This is a program that was determined by the federal government. And the federal government came up with this program years and years ago. And here's how they came up with the program. It is brilliant. They sent out all these people to interview everyday Americans. And they asked these everyday Americans a very simple question. The question is, how are you financially doing this week? Now, I want to ask you too. What do you think the most common response was to that question? How are you financially doing this week?
Wow.
What do you think most people said?
I bet you they said, I don't know.
Yeah, I think people are like,
I feel like they know. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
You know what they said?
What's
Yeah.
that?
I'm broke.
I'm broke. Yeah.
I'm broke. Okay. So from there, they said, no problem. We're going to check back in between 9 to 12 months and see how you're doing. So they went back to the same people. Okay. Let's say a year later. How are you doing? What do you think those same people said?
I'm still broke.
I'm still broke. Yes.
Yep.
And they went a third time. They were still broke. And the federal government finally said, you can't be broke for 30 years.
Right. If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right. So they created this incredible process. IDA is a hand up, not a handout. Here's how it works. If you qualify, now qualification is based on household income. If you qualify, then everybody in your household over the age of 14 for a lot of the programs will qualify as well. So if Anthony has his wife and 2 kids, one who's 15 and one who's 16, and that household qualifies, every single person qualifies. Now, why does that matter? Now, I'll tell you the programs. There is a program for businesses. There's a program for buying a house. There's a program for going back to college. So let's take the business. All the IDAs are worked on what we call matched. So every dollar you put into that program, the government will match. Now, depending on the organization, they could match 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 8 to 1. How does this play? Let's suppose you're a business owner. You've been working out of your apartment and you have a dream of buying your own home so you can work out of your own home and write it off as well as part of your business. You can get into a program to buy your own house, and that program could qualify you to an 8 to 1. So what that looks like is if the program says, we're going to allow you to save $5,000 toward a new home, you have to save over the year $5,000. However, they're going to match you 8 to 1.
Wow.
So what's 8 times 5?
40,000.
Okay. So you get 40,000 plus 5,000, and that becomes your money for your closing costs.
Wow.
You do not have to repay it back.
Wow.
Okay. The second thing you can do is do it for startup. Same thing, but it's only for it doesn't have to be just startup. It could also be existing businesses. Now you're like, hey, I want to buy, I want to expand my business. I want to buy computers. I want to buy a van, whatever. Mm-hmm. And now you're looking at maybe $30,000. You get into the IDA grant program. Now it's a 5 to 1. And the 5 to 1 says, we're going to let you save $5,000 and we'll match you 5 to 1. So 5 times 5 is 25,000. You get the 25,000 grant. You get the 5,000. You cannot use it for bad debt. You cannot use it for expenses you've already used, and you can't use it for your own salary. But you've just been given $30,000 you don't have to repay back.
Wow.
Okay? That's the power of the IDA program. Now, where the multiplier happens is, as long as it's different goals. So if we take Tony, Anthony, and Anthony says, all right, I'm using my money to buy my family a home. That money goes for the home. He's got that 50,000. His wife uses it for a business, so she's got 30. His daughter uses it for starting a blogging company, right, to blog in media. That's another 30. And then the son uses it to go to college. That one family could bring in anywhere between 100 to 200,000 just using the IDA program.
Oh my God.
And you can go to the program twice as long as the goals are different. Okay?
Really?
Hold on. Honey, you got to see Kedma. No, you got to watch this. No,
Get out of here.
No, honestly, we have changed lives.
We were joking.
Generational lives this way.
She comes running out. I said we were joking. She's like, what? She's freaking out.
Okay.
Something
Now,
with her father.
The only criteria is you got to make the income qualification. So sometimes people say, listen, I make too much money. And I say, look, if you ever lose your job,
now you know. Right.
It's going to be a good thing. We can qualify into the IDA because once you're in the IDA and you start making 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a year, they can't kick you out. Once you qualify. So that's a game changer. I have literally helped hundreds of clients get into that program and change their lives. Second, any questions on that?
There's a Kedma, I'm looking at a bunch of different websites. Is there an IDA exact website or?
Okay, I will tell you the exact website, but it's a pain in the neck.
Okay.
Pain in the neck. You're going to go to a website called Prosperity Now. Okay. Go to Prosperity Now, and I'm going to explain why it's a pain in the neck. No offense to the organization. I love the organization. I just don't love how they promote it. Once you go into Prosperity Now, this will prove to you how hard it is to find funding. Because if I send you to Prosperity Now as a group, it's like Waldo. Where the hell is Waldo?
You want me to screen share? Should I screen share? Well,
I'm gonna screen share. I'll screen
share.
Okay,
go for it. Yeah.
Because honestly, you're not gonna find it other ways. Okay, can you see this? Can you see it yet? Let's see. Share. Nope. Now.
Nope.
Add to stream. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Yes or no?
Yes,
okay.
We can see it.
Okay, wow. So I'm gonna see if I can. Hold on a minute. I mean, even for me, sometimes it is hard for me to find it, and I do this for a living. Okay, so hold on. If I can't find it this way, I'll go back. Okay, here it is. So we're gonna go Prosperity Now map. Now I'm gonna tell you why it annoys me. Okay. In order to make life easy, what Prosperity Now should do is take all the IDA programs and make it in a very easy, user-friendly way. But no, they don't do that. They create this annoying map. No offense, Prosperity Now. I love you guys, but I got to just be real. They create this annoying map, and in order for you to figure out the map, you have to hover in that area. So let's look at Texas. You guys see Texas? All the way left, you see where it says Children's Savings Account? You see where it says IDA? Can you guys see this?
Yep.
You see where it says I'm Home Lead Organization? So you're going to hover in Texas. I'm going to press Texas right now. I'm going to find a link, okay? So let me go in, and here's a link. People attempting to help. Now you have to go to their website, and now you got to find the IDA in their website. So sometimes it tells you exactly what that IDA does. So let's see if I can find one quickly for you. So this one, United Way, we don't know at this point what their website is. We don't know if their website does home. We don't know if it does small business. So that's where you have to do that additional work. New Horizon, again, it doesn't say it.
So this website, Kedma, is kind of like it's almost like the Facebook of different websites and different programs that people can go in here. And okay, beautiful. Right.
So you can go to your state.
Tremendously valuable, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to go to your state and you're going to pull each one of these, and then you're going to follow the trail. Okay, here's a perfect one. Alternative Federal Credit Union. Look at this. This is perfect. If you were in Ithaca, New York, you're going to go to their website, but it tells you what they offer. Use of savings, home purchase, post-secondary, that's going to college, small business. They also do credit building, coaching, home ownership counseling, incentivized savings program, retirement, and youth programming. If you were in Ithaca, New York, this is exactly where I would send you. Then you're going to open the website, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. See, so it says not found. I would still call the company, and find out. Okay, so the page may not be found because they haven't been updated. Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay, now we're going to go here. We're going to look at lending for business loan, but we're looking for IDA only, okay? Health savings. See, now a lot of times they hide the IDA program. Do you know why they hide the IDA program? Because it's limited funds. And so, you know, a lot of times they don't need to promote it because it gets really busy. This would be a simple thing where you would send a contact us and say, hey, we just noticed that you are an IDA provider. We recognized you on Prosperity Now. We'd like to find out more information on your IDA program.
Cool.
Okay.
And then they'll give you the criteria of what their expectations are, and then you can fund it. Yep.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
I feel like Twee needs to meet like Kedma.
So Felicia, I feel like we got to pull Felicia out here.
Well, Felicia already knows her. Felicia, yeah, if you want to bring her up, bring her up. She's amazing.
Can we pull Felicia out here? Yes. Can I get an amen from Felicia? Is that cool?
Do it.
Yeah.
Felicia.
Uh-oh.
What's happening?
Let me muted, girl. You're muted.
What's up? Hi, Kedma. How are you? So nice to see you again.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That was some great advice. Listen, guys, I am manning the watch parties. I'm trying to make sure that people can keep up with you guys. And I'm answering questions. I'm sending the links. And then Kedma just keeps on giving us gems. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm dropping them in all the watch parties. I got 3 going on this side.
Awesome.
So this is awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you.
Yeah,
I have people in the house writing it down right now. Everyone's running and writing it down. Prosperity Now IDA program.
That's right.
We know what the impact of funding. I mean, think about what more funding will mean for your business. And it's important, right? This is something that people need. And so thank you, Kedma, for being that superhero. And Felicia, thank you for getting everybody out there, man. This is so important. We gotta scream it from the masses, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And Felicia, if there are any questions that came up off the cuff, I'm happy to answer right off the cuff on part of this, because I know a lot of times people are like, well, how does it pertain to me?
Right.
So if there's 1 or 2 or a couple of questions, you know, we can just fire through that like a hot seat.
Yeah.
Okay. So no, I did respond to that personal, like I just said when you said personal or business.
Yes.
And then again, this was another question about, is this for personal funds, which you answered while you were talking.
Yep.
And then I said, yes, I put the link in. Could you put the link? I had a question about your book, and then I shared the link that Mike shared into one of the watch parties for your book. Yep. And so we'll see. I'm going to say we can take Q&A now.
Yeah. And while that's coming in, Kedma, is there any more tips? I'm loving these nuggets. Is there anything more that you want to share while they're? You
want me to throw out another resource, or do you?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Show us another resource.
This first program, IDA, is really business. But what if you're an inventor? Mm-hmm. What if you're the person who says, "Man, I have a dream to invent something. I've been thinking about inventing a new technology. I'm thinking about inventing something in the houseware industry." The problem we have with inventors is the amount of cost related to filing patents. Now, do you have any idea of what it costs typically to file a utility patent, a patent for the function of that invention? Any idea? Throw out a number for me.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I know we were looking at something some years back.
Yep.
And it was 7,000, but I'm sure it's much more than that now, and I'm sure it was a different space. But many years later, about a decade later, somebody else did it. Not only did they do it, and this was the beginning of my career, I was like 21 or something. Not only did they do it, my buddy Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, was actually promoting it. It's all about a slap in the face. My buddy was promoting it on his social, the idea we had 10 years ago, my wife and I, which she was my girlfriend at the time.
So typically, you're right on there. Typically, on average, depending on the state, you're going to look at an average of $10,000. Now, sometimes it's lower and sometimes it's higher. But the problem you have is if you have saved all your money and it's all going to the filing of the patent, you have no money for marketing. You have no money for marketing. So now you put yourself in a bind.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I come in. So many times I have people who have spent so much money that they didn't have to, that I have to spend my first half an hour telling them how much they lost before they met me.
Yeah.
Right. So first,
that's just so you. I love it.
Mike's not going to let you leave here. Mike's going to physically extend his 50-acre ranch and move you in. That's what's going to happen.
Put me in the hot seat with God.
That's right. That's with God. Right. Okay. So first thing I would say is there's an incredible program through the patent office, which is a patent pro bono program. The government came up with this program years and years ago because they were sick and tired of amazing independent inventors trying to file an invention, working with attorneys. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with attorneys. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the price that they put on there, but you can't afford to spend sometimes $10,000 and bring it to the market. So all these inventors would put all their money into intellectual property, and the product never went to market.
Right. That's right.
Okay. They didn't go to market. The only person that benefited was the legal team. So the patent office said, look, for independent inventors who are under fixed income, we're going to do an incredible program. And I'm going to share it with you. This is one of the programs that we do. Again, very specific. You do have to meet income qualifications, but it's a game changer. I have literally helped change people's lives just from this program alone. So let me see if I can share my screen. I don't know if you can see it yet. Can you see my screen yet?
Take a second, and then we'll. Okay.
There
we go. Hold on.
Here is the patent pro bono program, and I'm a board member for the United Inventors Association. We are the nonprofit organization nationally that supports every inventor club in the entire country, and we work very, very closely with the U.S. Patent Pro Bono program. Here's your income, household income. This is one of those programs where it pays to be 3 times below the federal poverty level. You know, sometimes I talk with clients and they go, you know what, I make so little money, I can't qualify for anything. Wrong. This is one of the programs you can qualify. You have to go through some kind of training. So here's a secret: having a provisional application already in file or completing the certificate training program. Click on the training program, finish it, and then you get assigned. There's a roadmap of where all the pro bono programs are, okay? Just like those roadmaps, and you follow the map. I have literally helped hundreds of clients navigate through this, and they went from having to spend $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 to pro bono support. The only thing they ended up having to pay was the filing to the patent office, which is less than $500. Okay, game changer. If you're someone who's especially looking to license, if you're going to look at licensing your product, you don't need to build a business. You don't need to build a business. You need to have a really, really strong invention, and you have to have a patent behind it. So that's an example where I pivot the entire funding process, and I'm really focused on making sure we have that in place so that we can look at a licensing option.
You know, Kedma, I'm just here, and how many? The other day we were on the phone with Dr. Russ. Who was it? Who were we on the phone with?
Dr. Court. He's on right now.
Yes,
he's listening.
Yes, Dr. Court. It was Dr. Court.
He's on right now. Hey,
you know what he said? He said, "You know what? You can either be a visionary or a victim. You're a victim or a visionary. You decide." And that's what I'm present to. I mean, how many people in the United States right now are saying, "Oh, I can't get this, or I can't get that, or my dream won't happen, or blah 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 blah," and it's excuse. And Kedma, you just showed us 2 incredible resources that are available for people to get their idea off the ground. And
Exactly.
it's just a matter of doing the work and getting the funding. What other resources are you going to be sharing with us?
Oh my God, I have so many. Well, here's what I'm going to do for anyone who's listening, and now pay attention for listening. If you want to be in the hot seat, if you want me to do an analysis on your business, I will set up some kind of special link, and then I will choose 2 companies that I will do the back-end research, which is saving you hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and we will showcase it here. So you'll get a chance to see live something unique. So I'll take it from just idea to we'll hone it in. So we'll choose maybe 2 companies and 2 different companies, what's going on for them, what do they need, and then I'll give them a direct plan of action right on the event, so you can see how it plays in live time, because that's what we want to do.
That is huge. That is huge. Yeah. Whoa, you guys are really lucky right now. You need to be getting him on that.
Yes.
You better be taking action.
That's amazing.
So we talked about this, right? And this is really something that we thought would be amazing for our authentic communications, right, on Wednesday, to get some business owners prepared, because hot seat, what is the hot seat? And what you're talking about is something very strategic and helping that company get activated to take massive action right now. Because if they start doing what you say right now, they're definitely going to see some results that are beneficial, probably more than they would have imagined, because they have you right there. So, you know, I always say that it's about sponsorship, you know, what people are saying about you when you're not in the room, but you got to get in that room. And that is you. I told you today, your superpower is the way that you can help people see possibilities where they never could have imagined, because they were only thinking this way.
Correct.
So Kedma, what if, right? Because we have our leadership summit coming up. And I think that during our leadership summit with our VIP, with people that buy their tickets, they're going to be able to go live with some of the influencers. But what if in that space, we selected those 2 businesses, and in that time, because they are VIP, they get to sit down on that hot seat and watch you work your magic in this unprecedented way, so that they can see what they need to do and really be prepared to do. And so we can actually prepare them for what they need to bring, right?
Are we allowed to be that cool?
When we put them in the hot seat, and they'll be able to do it. I mean, I think people will be just signing up just to be able to compete for that spot on that hot seat.
Yes, that is huge.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And we could use that. We can use that whole experience for both businesses, right? For True Living and for your business as a case study, in what happens when people are there with that energy. Also, I think people kind of get that FOMO, right? That's why they're missing out. They will want to go ahead, apply themselves, and make sure that they're a part of the solution. So I think it activates so many things. I mean, mostly I see entrepreneurs really wanting to take action, and it's exactly like you said, Kedma, they become inactive in looking at so many things that aren't so productive. And even Mike just did our Pathfinder training, which is really about people honing in on where they can be more productive, take that action to be healthier, you know, look at wellness and see how that is impacting their choices, right? Because we have anxiety when we don't get sleep, or we have stress, and all of this blocks us from making the right decisions. But if you could really hone in on that, look at where you're wasting energy and time and not as productive as you can be, and you can meet with a Kedma and find out, wait a second, there are possibilities here that I never even imagined. And to have that expertise, to be linked to that, is phenomenal. That in itself, that's value. That's serious value add, just to know, right? And then to be able to know that you have helped over 10,000 people, like $100 million, right?
That's huge.
You know, that's amazing. You are Wonder Woman. That's your.
I'm so humbled, but I want to share one really important thing, Felicia, as I'm listening to you. So you just called it out. Number one, People will buy my book. This is the sad statistic. Less than 5% actually take action. Less than 5%. You want to know why? Because we live in this, what I call the microwave business experience. This is what it really looks like. People come to me and they want me to take their life and put it in a microwave for 3 minutes so that it can come out beautiful. Free money does not mean free work. Free money does not mean free work. So then they see the work and, they go, hey, Anthony, it's too much work for me. It's too much work for me to apply. It's too much work for me to see the timelines. Too much work for me to put the documentation. And then they come to me and complain.
And then they come to us and need their mindset adjusted.
Yeah, exactly. Then I send them back. I'm like, don't come and complain to me. Go to Michael. All right.
We'll have you have a breakthrough and it's going to take action. And actually, you're going to take us right back with that.
That's cycle.
Yeah. So Felicia, it's accountability, because if I show them where the money is, they have to take the massive action. They have to be held accountable, because people are looking for shortcuts. There's no shortcut.
Yep.
There's a roadmap. There's no shortcut.
And that's exactly what we need. Yeah. I mean, I've helped business owners with the SBA and women-owned businesses, that need funding and preparing RFPs for grants. Yep. And usually it always comes down to, I just need this information. We're going to work on this. And then you call them back and they're like, oh, I haven't gotten that put together yet. It's going to take me a little bit more time. Could you do this for me? Like you said, they really want you to do it, but yet you have to put it back on them, right? Do you want this? Do you need this? I love what you said about, when you ask them the question, like, is your business going to be able to run without you having this? Yes. And that really helps them put it into perspective about what's needed and what's wanted, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll give you the analogy, Michael, real quickly. I'll give you the analogy I say, Felicia, all the time. People walk into my office and they want to play soccer. Okay, if you've ever played soccer, right, it's fun. And I go, hey, you know what? I can help you play soccer. What do you need? This is what they say. Well, Kedma, I first need a soccer stadium. Oh, you need to buy you a soccer stadium. Okay, anything else? Yeah, we want custom uniforms. Want to make sure that we have all the teams set up. Now, all I'm thinking about when they walked in and want to play soccer, I don't even want them to have soccer shoes. I just care that they have shoes on. Okay, and maybe some clothes. Doesn't have to be fully clothed, just some clothes. And they're out playing soccer. And then I say to them, you can ask for all these things, or I can get you playing soccer really quickly.
Right, exactly. You gotta be in the game.
Let's start with the soccer ball.
Let's start with the soccer ball.
Let's start with the soccer ball. Well, guys, right now, I know if you're listening to this, you're something that you want inside of your business. You see that you're a visionary. You're a visionary. You see that there's the opportunity for growth. You see that there's an opportunity for action. You may not necessarily know what that action may look like, but we're here to help you get crystal clear on what that looks like, which is why we put together the summit, which is why we brought together absolutely phenomenal superheroes like Felicia, like Kedma, like Anthony, like every one of these guys that you have the opportunity to come and be exposed to are masters in creating massive clarity around the actions that you need to take for your dreams to come true. We're literally we're removing victims and turning them into visionaries. Not that you're a victim, because you're here, you're watching this, you see yourself, and you have that seed of hope, that seed of knowing that you're meant to be the one to make it happen. That's you. And that happens when you start taking action. And if you're right now, you have the opportunity, there's resources right in front of you. Just reach out and ask for the next action to take. And you do it over and over and over again. How many of those people would have succeeded at a quicker rate if they just said, hey, what's my next step? And then did it. Right. What's my next step? And then did it, right? I mean, it's that. So what is the next step here, guys? How can people turn their vision into a reality, get things funded, and really make something happen here?
I can tell you my next step, and Felicia, I'd love to hear, like, just for the upcoming summit. But if you want to get ready, I would have you really focus on what the heck do you need the money for? In order of priority, it's got to be a need, and I need a timeline on it. If you can bring that to the summit, man, that's already 50% of the issue. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to remove things. If you feel like, wait a minute, I can live without it, it doesn't go on the list.
Yep. You know, our theme for this summit is to take the next step. 2021, take the next step. Take the next step. That's what facilitation is. It's overcoming the fears, frustrations, and challenges, helping you accomplish your wants, needs, and desires, and taking that next step.
So I got to speak to one thing on Michael. It's so important.
Yeah, go for it.
From a neuroscience perspective, statistics have shown that the human mind can only work at one thing fully at the same time, unless the second thing is considered automatic. Yep. So taking one step actually works for your brain, not against your brain. The second thing we must understand is, remember I said information is not created equal. It's because if you hear information, but you don't apply it, you're going to retain about 30%. Mm-hmm. If you take the information and you apply it twice within 48 hours and actually do it, your brain will retain it by 80%. That's where the massive action comes in, Felicia. So if someone just hears it, or someone just watches it, and someone just like passes by in a podcast, that's 30% of the brain. But if they take the massive action within 48 hours, doing it twice, that means, hey, I got my list and then I'm doing my budget. Hey, I got my budget and then I'm making a phone call.
Yep.
That's 80% that goes into the brain. And this is pure science.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes so much sense, because typically, like you said, you give homework, and you gave homework today, and I wrote it down, like the links for everyone in the watch parties. But when I give homework, I always try to create some opportunity for them to get a win, right? Like, this is something that you can do. And so then it'll be something that they can do, and they have the capacity to do it and get it done quickly, so that when the next thing comes up, the one that needs to have a little bit more of that focus, they'll be more inclined to getting it done. But I love how you just broke down that timing, because I do try to give them a homework right after this follow-up session, and I do try to give them a win. And then the next step would be a bigger win, but that does mean that it's going to take a little bit more time and effort. Nice.
And for anybody who has ADD, this is what I use. Go on Amazon. This is a 1 hour glass. Okay? No phone, no iPhone, no alarm, no Alexa. We call this the sprint. You set it and you got an hour to do stuff. That's it. So if I say, Michael, I want this done, you turn on the hourglass, you got 1 hour to get that stuff done. I'm telling you how powerful this is, guys.
I love that.
Coaches, my own coaches that I support, follow this, because the mind is visually looking at it and you're racing against time. So you can do 3 sprints in a day just using this, and you'll get more done than anything else.
Do you know what, Kedma? And while we're sharing, and Kedma, if you would send a Amazon link for that, we're going to include it in the buyer's guide. Also, we're including your book in the buyer's guide. One of the things, we have a buyer's guide. It's got incredible stuff. One of the things that I would love to, there's this app that's called Clockify. It's free, and I love it because it's got the little timer going in the corner. So if you guys are watching this, we're going to include the Clockify link inside of our buyer's guide too, because that is such a great, having that timer there is huge. And then being able to disconnect, right? I do 3 50-minute focus sessions every morning. I haven't done it in the last, since Thanksgiving, but those 3 focus sessions, 50 minutes, and then that 10-minute break is super powerful. Guys, this is gold. This is gold. This is how you develop a business. And I just want to just chime while I'm here. I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people see when it comes to that mindset thing, right? So Kedma brought up there the reading the driver's manual versus driving the car. The action and taking that action is driving the vehicle. When you're driving the vehicle, it's a real experience. You can get hurt. Things will come up. You'll need a turn. You'll need to respond. You're not going to know what's going to be on the road, right? When you're reading the manual, everything's safe. It's all conceptual. That's really nice. You don't have to pay attention. So I think, like, if someone can walk, the drive the vehicle of your business, drive the vehicle of your life, take that action, be in action, take what you hear and make it happen. And, we just covered the Pathfinder training. what we talk about in the Pathfinder training is having an agenda where your core values are there and scheduling your life and letting that be your roadmap and feeling it in. So it's like Kedma, you know, that only 5% of the people, people read the book, only 5% take action, right? Or only 5%, I don't know, do they all even get to the end of the book, or do they give up, right? You know? So if you do that and you schedule, all right, I'm going to read the book. How long is it going to take? I'm going to put it in every single day. I'm going to hit my timer. And I'm going to make it happen. You will manifest your dream.
Exactly.
We know it because we're doing it every day. We see people do it. We see it. It's not like we'll take action and, no, it's the real deal. Guys, if you're listening, your dream is a bunch of is steps away. And those steps are actions. And they're not always going to be perfect. They're not always going to be perfect. You know, it's an illusion to think that you're going to know how you're going to do something that you've never done before. But if you have the right mentor, as Anthony spoke about earlier, you can turn your vision into a reality. You can build that vision, and we are bringing together world-class visionaries at this mastermind. It is about being a visionary. It's about being a thought leader. You guys just saw a scratch, not even like a hair. You literally rolled the dice once with Kedma here. You rolled the dice once with Kedma. And we're going to have so many amazing people for you guys to be able to experience it. Kedma, I think that what you've just offered is absolutely phenomenal. The ability for somebody to speak with you on that one-on-one interaction. You guys need to be able to take action. Felicia, what are we sharing here today? I mean, is there anything that you wanted to share? Is there any comments, any way for us to wrap this up here?
So Kedma, I just wanted to quickly acknowledge some people that have been hanging in there. I know that you can't see them, unfortunately, because they're in different watch parties. And so I just want to acknowledge, people that are chiming in, that have questions, that are saying hi, that are saying thank you so much. You're wonderful. You're so happy that they got to tune in. I just want to say hi, Derek Howard, Greg Duffy, Christopher Costa, Constantin, Luciano Prida, Veronica Shire, Bessie. I want to say thank you. Oh my gosh, there's more. Earl Williams had a question. Melissa Lee Watchler and Gloria Kirby, thank you for tuning in. Earl was talking about thinking that he had his dream in his mind about his business, and people talked him out of it. And one of the reasons why is because he thought he couldn't get any help or funds to create it. So he's really grateful that you were here today and that you also provided some resources.
Can I just share something to Earl if he's listening?
Yes, Earl, listen up, Earl.
Listen to me, Earl. Listen to me really clearly. Never, ever take advice from someone's life that you don't want.
Yep.
You hear me? Okay? You follow people's life. If you like the life they have, you ask them for advice as long as they have the knowledge and expertise. I am a horrible cook. I've been known to poison people. My cooking is so bad. Please, Earl, do not ask me if I know how to cook. I will tell you I'm the worst cook. My first steak I broiled, right? You need to make sure that whoever you're talking to has already built out the path. Not only that, but I want to make sure everybody knows imperfect action is where we need to be. And the reason why goes back to the brain. The most powerful way for your brain to learn anything is by making a mistake. Believe it or not, when you make a mistake and you cross correct with the right information, your brain will reset. And it will be more powerful than if you had not done anything at all. So imperfect action. And Earl, whoever said that to you, shame on them. Have them meet with me. Shame on them. No, if it's a mindset, have them meet with Michael first. Okay? Have them meet with Michael. Don't let anybody crush your dream. Okay? Yes, if it doesn't work and it's not feasible, I'll tell you. But I'll never crush your dream. I'll just tell you why it's not feasible.
All right. He said yes. He's listening.
I love that.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you.
Don't ever be the antonym of the dream maker, right? I'll tell you this. right now, I hate when people speak about someone's vision or their dream in a negative format. Just because they can't doesn't mean that they should stop somebody else. Dream stealer is one of the worst things you could ever be on a planet. We call it the invisible day. They say this, they say that. Who are they, right? It's the invisible day. One day I'm going to write a book about it. Rick Frischman, if you're listening, let's write the book together along with Gary Krebs. But like, seriously, don't let that happen ever. And the one thing I just want to comment on real quick, because I'm sitting here, I'm listening, I'm absorbing, I'm getting excited. We have these masterful masterminds on this call. Is this summit coming up, this leadership summit, is literally an amalgam, okay, of this cell phone, like without exaggeration, of the ability. I always say this all the time. I say it to everyone. The door is never just big enough for my wife and I, right? Some people are like, oh, it's very narrow and only we can fit through. The door is big enough for every person that I've ever met, Mike's ever met, Felicia's ever met, Kedma's ever met, right, to come through. That's what the world is about, right? That's that ripple effect, right? That positive light. Why would you hold your contacts? You know, all access. We work very, very hard to bring the best in target funding, right? The best in publishing with Rick Frischman and Gary Krebs, right? The best in podcast with my buddy Brady, one of the top 30 in the world in his space, right? The best in what they do, right? The best in movies. We have several executive producers that are going to be speaking about not just how to break into Hollywood if you want to do that, but how to take your book and cinematically get it out there, whether it's a format like YouTube or whatever that might look like, or point blank how to show up better on camera to be able to project your message, right? And the end game here, the end game, my favorite movie of all time, end game, right? Not the Avengers, is this. The end game is you coming out the other side with enough information. If you apply, because we know knowledge is power, and accurate knowledge, they say, is power, but applied accurate knowledge is true power. And if you apply what you learn, point blank, you're going to come out the other side as a thought leader. That's all I got tonight. I'm excited.
I love it. And surround yourself with people going to lift you higher. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't have a lot of friends on purpose. I have one friend per state. And if that state is taken, unless they die or relocate, that position is taken.
I'm in New Jersey. I'm the one in New Jersey.
I'm a Southern Florida. Northern Florida.
It's an honor to have you as a friend. You know, it's an honor to have you as a friend. You know, one of the things I want to I want to just, you know, to Earl, look, there was a time in my life that I was sitting there at the kitchen table not that long ago, and somebody came in and they said, you know, Mike, I don't think you'll ever be an executive. They said, you just don't have what it takes. I took that and said, you know what? Watch this.
Wow.
Right. Wow. And I think that there's, and so what I would say is for those of you guys that have had that happen, that is your power band. Dig into that, because you know what? I think my dad used to say, if you don't piss somebody off every day, you're not living big enough. You're not living large enough. You know, people, you know, misery loves company. But when you're, like you said, Kedma said a moment ago, it's lonely at the top. We're looking for playmates here in creating the vision. And if you feel that scratch, you owe it to yourself to show up here at the Visionary course, because you're going to be amongst friends. You're going to be at the top. It's a summit. We call it a summit for that reason. The leadership summit, you know, it's a leadership visionary summit for thought leaders, you know, so you guys got to get involved. You know, you are the people that you hang out with, you know, get out there, get involved. We're a phone call away. You know, we're an email away. You know, we're an email away, and sometimes that's the action that you need to take. And you just bring it, and you show up, and you're honest, and you're vulnerable with where you're at, and you share your dream, just like we have with you, and it's all going to work out. You know, that's God doing its thing. That's the universe bringing. You know, the law of attraction. Everything is working in your favor if you're willing to be in that state of uncomfortable about getting comfortable. You know,
I love it. And Michael, I want to just make a comment here, and this is to Earl. And Felicia, maybe at the event, I'll share my story of how I became a superhero. But Earl, at 7 years old, at 8 years old, and 9 years old, I had a villain who constantly said, you will amount to nothing. You are a nobody in this world. Mm-hmm. You don't deserve to exist. And I'm telling you right now, when you hear my story, all I kept saying is, one day I will show, one day I will prove, one day I will be that person. And I never allowed someone else's story of who I am to impact who I am. Never. Okay? So don't allow anybody to give you a story about your story.
That's
You
right.
Own it.
Mhm.
And I'm saying this to everyone because words are powerful. Words are powerful, and you can bring someone down with the right words, or you can lift them up with the right words. But you got to choose. You got to choose. That's your choice. That's your choice. But Michael, you nailed it. There's always a way. And for anybody struggling right now, if everybody says, I don't know where to go, you got 4 people here you can reach out. You have 4 people you can reach out that can say, you know what, even if it's just, hey, can I just check in? So
that's right. And you know what? Let's compound this, Kedma, because you guys know that we're real when we say that we want you to reach out. We're not here trying to sell you something or reaching into your pockets. We're dedicated our lives to serving you to better humanity, because that's what we're doing here. That's what unites us, right? We're looking for that growth, that contribution. And I just want to invite you to look at your own life, right? There's an area of your life where you're an expert and people come to you and you help them, you serve them, right? And these are just the areas that we're experts in. And you're an expert in your area. You're a visionary in that area. And we want to hear about it. We want to have you as a resource, and we want to serve you serving them, right? So what I've done is I've dropped a link there in the chat for anybody that wants to check out the visionary course. We threw up a really quick eBright link here. The landing page is to come. You guys should definitely register now, because in a little bit the price is going to be going up. Honestly, what are we doing? A special sale right now, Anthony. Is that right? Are we still giving them the Cyber Monday sale? Is that what's going on?
We're doing. It's funny. I feel like my buddy Forbes Ronley in Home Shopping Club. Act now, but no. But you know, we since the last event, Coach Con, just to be real, honest, authentic, and vulnerable. You know, I always say point blank, we have to honor what we say. We started that 75% off deal. I think it's like $247 for the ticket. Originally, it's like $995, and we've honored that. We've honored that to not only the Coach Con group, to the True Living group, our other various groups, and then we went into Black Friday, and we honored that Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, and now Cyber Monday. It will tomorrow jump up. We have to, because if not, then we're like liars and we're like false marketers. It will go up to still, you know, half off, but not 75% off. So tonight is the last night for that. And, you know, we got to, like, you know, we need money to throw the event, right? So you have to, like, you know, pay people. So I wish everything was free, but here we are, right? So
we literally are running around to just to share this, right? We literally are grabbing the phone book there and saying, who are the people that are out there that make the biggest difference in the world? Where are our superheroes? And we're getting on the phone with people like Kedma, and we're saying, Kedma, there's people out there that need what you're offering. They need to hear what they need to get funding. You guys are here, you're listening because you need funding, right? And you don't just because you're a visionary, because you need funding, and because you know that if you were to get funding, it would improve the quality of everybody's life, yours, your families, and the people that that serve you, right? So literally, we're bringing together world-class people. And if you like what you saw here with Kedma, Kedma is a rock star. She's a superstar. She's a superhero. And you're going to have the opportunity to spend some time with her. And I'm sure, Kedma, we're going to let people ask questions there. We have a breakout room. Yeah, know it yourself to show up. It's powerful.
Michael, what's the total cost, Anthony? What's the total cost if they sign up today then?
$247. $247 when they sign up today, and that also, you know, because they did it and because they took massive action, they will have that backstage action. So we want them to be able to have access, and we want people that are serious about making that commitment and deciding to commit to their, you know, their businesses and their future, to be able to have that access and to be able to take action. So.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Kedma.
I can confidently say, just because I work with thousands of people, if you look at 247 and I 10x it to $2,400, which is a quarter of the average that clients get working with me. On average, they've gotten up to 10,000 for funds and resources. That's already worth your weight in gold. So you've got to think about the investment, not in time, but the information you receive, and how do you do it. And what I look at is a minimum of 5x or more in order for me to make any decision on anything. And if you can get 5x to that money, then it's worth your weight in gold, as long as you execute. If you can't,
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. My guarantee.
That's a huge value
at this event, you will 10x your. I guarantee that if you show up at this event and I will.
She said 5x
back if you don't think so. There is no way. If you show up at this event and you don't 10x your money, it's because you slept through the event. It's because you slept through the event. There's no freaking way. There is no way. There is no way. I'm going to be sharing the actual mindset philosophy that we are, and I mean in language, right? Your brain works on language. I'm going to give you a conversation where your brain gets the aha of how it's braining. And people pay me thousands and thousands of dollars to have this conversation with them, and I'm going to be having it with you. If you guys, there is no doubt about it, you need to show up to this. It is a conversation, and no, you only get this conversation when you're working one-on-one with me. You haven't gotten into the groups, you haven't gotten into the programs. This is a very unique conversation. So if you don't know how, so let me put it this way. You show up, you 10x your showing up power there. You're going to get $5,000 worth of value out of everybody, all these visionaries. And then when you're done, you come, and what we're looking for is the testimonials of, man, this event transformed my freaking life. Right? We've got Gary, who knows how to who launched.
Gary's amazing.
But by the way, real quick, Gary did the 10X book with Grant. Just so you know, the guy that oversaw the whole project of what you're speaking about is speaking at that event.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? If you guys
he's with us, and he's with us.
Yeah, Kedma got me fired up here. Kedma got me fired up here. But here's what I'm gonna.
I know, right? Just calm down, bring it down, bring somebody down, Mike. All right,
wait. Here's the thing, guys. Listen, if you look at your life right now, if you're looking at your life right now, there's this tendency to think like, oh, well, what if I were to double my life? But if you think about doubling your life, you're going to take all of the concerns that you have, all the problems. Trust me, you've expanded to your comfort zone right now. Right? If you're an entrepreneur, you're playing full out. You've expanded your comfort zone. You're going to hold on to all of that. But this is about being a visionary. This is about being a thought leader in your space. So what I want you to do is just consider what really 10xing your life would look like. Like literally, like 10 times the time freedom, 10 times the income, 10 times the quality of life, right? Being able to spend 10x the quality of time that you spend with your children, like to really be present with them and show them exactly what it is that they need to do by modeling the way. Like, what would that mean for your life? And here's the thing. Here's my challenge to you. Most of you right now are taking what you have and you're trying to draw a line from there.
Oh, amen.
You're trying to draw a line from there, and it ain't going to happen. You can't take what you have and bring it into that space. You'd actually have to be willing to let go of everything that you have right now to enter into that vision, everything that you have right now. But if I told you I was going to 10x the size of your home, would you be willing to sell the one that you're in? Yeah, right? It's all paid for, 10x it, right? If I told you, right? So the thing is not whether or not you can do it. We know that you can do it. You can take the action. Everyone can take the action. The question is whether or not you're willing to hear what we're sharing and believe enough to create a vision, and from that vision, walk towards it.
Love it.
And that's what we want you to do here at the Visionary Summit, this leadership summit that we're asking you to show up at. It is about you. It's about you authoring your life. It's about you taking massive action towards what really matters to you, what is really going to make the difference for your children, what's really going to make the difference for your financial situation, what's really going to make the difference for your business. That's what we're asking you to do. And it starts at the summit. It starts by reaching out to people like Kedma, people like me, being really honest with where you're at and saying, hey, listen, maybe you don't have that vision yet. We're going to help you get that vision, right? Maybe you don't know what step you need to take. We're going to help you figure out what resources you need. Is it a book? Is it a coaching program? What does that look like? You owe it to yourself to do this, because your dreams are at stake. Your children's lives are at stake, right? The quality, the actions that you take today are going to produce the quality of the life for yourself, for your family, for the community, and for the children that are in your wake. And trust me, if you don't take it, if not you, then who? And if not now, then when?
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm just leaving.
Places you'll go.
But I want to leave one practical thing. Because I want to put an image in everyone's mind, okay? Because I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Michael. There are people right now you have a set of keys. I want you to imagine you have a set of keys, right? That set of keys, you keep trying to open a door, but those set of keys can't open that door. You don't have the key. That's the problem. You can keep knocking at that door. You try to break the door down, but that door is locked until you get the right key. Once you get the right key, you can open the door. So the reason I want you to have that vision is because people are at that damn door and they're like, what are they going to teach me? I don't know. Well, what is it that I know my door better than anyone? No, you don't. No, you don't. You know how I know that? You know how I know that? Because you're on the call.
That's right.
If you could open the door, you wouldn't be on the call.
That's right.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Well, what if we can help you open the door? That's the difference. Every powerful influencer has an entire team behind them.
Yep.
Right.
Remember that. Every powerful influencer never does things alone. If you want to do things alone, find an island.
Look.
That's right.
Look. Kedma's on my dream team, guys.
That's right.
This shows up because we get intimate. We have those serious conversations over what is our vision? How are we going to bring it into the world together as being part of a team? And then we keep each other accountable, and you can integrate into a team. You can create the team. You can be that visionary. You can get the key.
Right. And when you buy that ticket, you're going to buy a ticket to new keys. That's all it is. New keys.
That's it.
Mic drop. Go, Kedma. Go, Kedma. Drop the mic right there. Get your new keys, okay?
In the chat, you know.
Woo! You need your new keys.
When fans breaking in the door.
I got it.
Mic drop.
Look, guys, and Kedma is right on. Look, people.
All right, get your keys.
Are they
Get your keys.
No, it's your life, and that's why we're so passionate about it. You know, guess what, guys? We're running the show. We're gonna have a great time, whether or not you show up.
That's right.
We're gonna have a great time. You know, it's about your life. We know it. We know it. It's about your life, and you owe it to yourself to take action. So we've dropped a link in there. Kedma, I am so grateful for having you on here, man. I just love every time I hang out with you. I'm like, reading with my Kedma.
Thank you, everyone. I couldn't do it without everyone on here. You know, I think that it's about really just amplifying our message. We are so passionate, but at the end of the day, people can choose free will. They can choose not to move forward. They can choose not to choose a key. They can choose to negate everything. But I want everyone to know everybody has a right to free will. Everyone, right? So, but we want to honor that. If you choose not to show up, I honor you. But don't be asking me where the damn keys are. Okay?
That's right.
Because you look stupid looking for the key.
I just told you we got the keys. We got the keys. We got 4 keys right here. That's right. We got 4 keys for you to open the door to what you've been wanting and saying you wanted. So
exactly.
Get on board.
Yes.
Thank you, Kedma.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we can all wait a second. We gotta live true, right?
Well, we gotta ask Kedma. All right, so we gotta do our tradition. Kedma's back in the hot seat. All right, back to serious. All right, hold on, everybody. Now we're gonna make transformation really serious here, right? I'm just kidding. All right, Anthony, why don't you ask her the greatest question on earth?
We almost forgot.
Cheer out. Yep.
Kedma, the greatest question we leave everybody with all the time is this. What, in your definition, is living true?
In my definition, living true, in my because it's going to make me cry. In my definition, living true is using the gift that God gave you to amplify other people and make the world a better place, regardless of where you are in your space. And becoming the best version of you allows that gift to happen. If you don't use it, you've wasted that gift. You've wasted the gift, and you've wasted it on potentially impacting a multitude of people that had you given them the gift, they would be able to change their life. So that's living true, is taking what has been given to you as a gift and using it to the best version of yourself, and never forgetting that that gift is to be shared, that you are a messenger, not to live in ego, but to live through the spirit of message. Once you pass the message, what they do with that message is really up to them. But your job is to be the messenger.
Ooh, I love that.
Wow. That's
All
almost word
right.
for word my answer. Almost word for word.
Amen.
That's amazing.
I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Kedma.
Thank you,
Absolutely
Kedma.
beautiful. Definitely
You're
one of my
welcome.
favorite. All right, guys.
One of
You
the
guys
best.
know
All
the
right.
drill. We're going to cover the camera. All right. On Kedma, cover the camera. It's up a little bit. Up. Cover that.
One,
There we go.
two, three.
1, 2, 3. Live.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye,
Love you
Bye.
guys. Thank you.